Hello, and welcome to part 1 of the Cedar High School Mini-Thon 2015 gig log. For those of you who saw last year's Cedar High School Mini-Thon gig log, that was the biggest gig we've ever done at the time. And it's the same case this year, well, it's way bigger than it was last year. For those of you who want to see the gig in this video, that's not gonna happen because this is part 1, which is planning. Part 2 and 3 will be set up in the gig. Which brings me to my next point. This is going to be a 3-part series instead of just a 2-part series, and the reason for that is there's quite a bit of a backlog story for planning that you guys should know about probably before you see the gig, because this was a huge undertaking in just every aspect. So anyway, today is today's February 28th. We actually recorded part 1, which you're going to see in like a few seconds way back during the gig, but we didn't record the intro, so we're doing the intro now. So anyway, there you go. So we originally intended to start filming this part of the gig log like weeks ago, but kept getting really busy and we just had no time to record. So today's Thursday and we're starting setting up tomorrow. So clearly there's not gonna be any footage of planning, even though this is the planning gig log, but I'll kind of bring you up to speed and then we have a few more things we need to plan, kinda. So, oh well. So planning for this gig actually started like 4 or 5 months ago when the head of the Mini-Thon committee, his name's Neil, texted me and he was like, "It's great that you're doing Cedar Cliff Mini-Thon again this year." And I was like, "What? No one wants to talk to me about doing Mini-Thon." And he was like, "Oh, well, do you want to do it?" And so I was like, okay. And then a few days later, Isaac, the other guy we did it with last year, texted me. He was like, "I hear you're doing Mini-Thon." And I was like, "Well, yeah, but not really, because no one's talked to us about anything yet." And he was like, "Oh, okay, well, are you doing it?" And I was like, "All right, sure." So we kind of got into negotiations there. And then for I guess 2 or 3, a few weeks after that, when we first made contact, we had a meeting about, what they wanted. And generally, they wanted to go bigger. Well, they wanted to go bigger, but maybe not as big as we're going. Either way, they wanted to go bigger and they were wondering what the price would be. So it took us 2 months to talk to all these rental companies, because we talked to a bunch because we couldn't find a good deal on anything. Eventually finally got a price where we could do it, and that only happened 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago we finally were like, okay, we can do your gig. So kind of last minute again. So after we finally found a good deal from a rental company, which by the way is Voyager Music, based out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Anyway, the guy from Voyager, his name's Chris, he emailed us and we spoke over the phone. Actually, Isaac spoke to him over the phone, told him what we needed, and then Chris emailed us back with this list, which was actually more than what we asked for less than what we were planning on spending. So we were like, okay, great, let's do that. Our original plan was to go with Party Alliance, who we went with last year, and we were gonna rent 4 Spot 350s and 8 Lux washes. And it's gonna be very similar to last year. But while we were negotiating with him, this guy Chris from Voyager, he kind of got back to us ahead of Party Alliance, and he was like, okay, well, we will give you 8 350 spots and 2 350 washes, which is not as many washes, but way more spots, and 4 PixMs. So just put that in comparison. We have 4 PixMs. Isaac has 4 PixMs. He just gave us another 4. That's 12 PixMs. That's insane.
What's the sound?
Well, I'll get to the sound. I have 2 350 spots. Isaac has 2 350 spots. We have 12 350 spots. That's insane. And Isaac has 4 washes, so that makes 6 washes, which is still cool. So this lighting rig is just bigger than we thought, and it's costing us less than we thought, so that's ridiculous. Then for sound, he offered us 8 TV console curvature arrays.
God. Oh, yes.
Yeah, but we turned those down because meh. And then he also offered us 8 Soundbridge Z something.
Wow.
Z what's? Just tell me what they are.
7218.
Z72.
No Z.
Okay.
Just a Soundbridge
7218.
Powered by 2.
They're not the ground version, not the flying version. It's powered by 2 PowerSoft K10 amps.
Plus all the crab barriers and stages.
Oh, well, yeah, and he's also giving us 10 staging decks on 2-foot risers, 10 8x4 staging decks, and then 80 feet of bike rack crab area. But still, he's giving us all that for this crazy deal. So that is the main reason. That is the single biggest reason why this gig is turning out to be so big. But, ooh.
The ETX guy.
Oh, right. Yeah, so we turned down the PV constant curvature array. So what are we getting for tops? You probably saw, if you watched last year's Mini-Thon, we ran just 4 Mackie SRM 450 V2s, but meh also. So instead, we uploaded a video 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, a while ago, of the ETX 35Ps, and we said we were renting them for Cedar Cliff Mini-Thon. Here we are, those are the speakers we got.
Got them for a great deal.
So yeah, great deal. Some people are probably going to say, why do you have 8 dual 18s and 2 35Ps? Well, we're actually only going to run those subs at 8th power?
Quarter.
Each? Quarter power each.
For the whole system, yeah.
Okay, so we're running the subs at 25%. We're gonna have to run the tops probably like 95% volume, and that should be pretty balanced. Balanced meaning bass overpowering. I mean, we're playing EDM. That's what you want.
Now we don't. It's a stress-free work environment now because I don't have to worry about blowing anything.
Yeah. So for the lighting rig, the original plan was just kind of to do the last year design, but bigger, just spaced out. And you can see that rendering here. But instead, Isaac, after seeing that rendering, was like, here's the deal. My company just got into flying stuff, so we should try to fly. The first thing I said was, there's no way they're gonna let us fly. The second thing I said was, that's kind of sketchy, because I've never flown anything before. But we talked about it. We decided that if they let us fly, we would discuss more about like details of it. So 2 weeks later, after we met with Isaac, or something, 2 weeks later, Isaac came back and he was like, we got permission to fly. So we started working on the rendering for the flying rig, and this is what we came up with. Well, actually, this is what I came up with, and Isaac just was like, yeah, it's cool. So this is the flying rig, and as you can see, it's a lot bigger. So where's all that truss coming from? Well, if you look at the non-flying rig, you can see that there's trussing obviously holding up like the big horizontal piece of trussing. That trussing that is holding up the trussing doesn't need to hold up the trussing anymore because it's being flown. So we can use that extra side trussing as a horizontal piece as well, just have so much more trussing. So the details of it are the highest two sections, up on the left and right, they're at 18 feet in the air, and each one is 19 feet long. The middle section is 13 feet in the air, and it's 35 feet long. The back section is 8 feet off the ground, so we might actually end up we might use cranks for that. We haven't decided yet, but that's only 16 feet wide. Anyway, you can see it's kind of like a cool, steppy thing. It also is 3 dimensions, as you can see here. The back piece is clearly farther back, and the middle section's in the middle, and the farthest section's farther forward. So it'll have a really good, it'll just be good. It'll have high, middle, low, it'll have depth, it'll have really wide stuff, really close in stuff. Awesome. Obviously, this is really brief. If we were actually recording the planning as we planned to record the planning, it would be a lot more interesting and a lot more detailed, but we were just too busy for this gig. Sorry. Sometime, you'll definitely do like a start to finish kind of gig log, like where we show you the planning and the setup and the gig and the cleanup. We'll show you everything, but we want to do that for this one, but it didn't happen. So, yeah, this is just kind of a little story time.
You can talk about what we did today.
Thursday, First thing we did was we went to another rental company because we're renting things from like 3-4 places. And we picked up a butt ton of extension cables. Yep. Look at all those extension cables. You'll overlay a shot of the extension cables. And then immediately after that, we loaded up all our lighting gear, went to Isaac's warehouse, and we had to help him unload his cargo van and his trailer because it had a bunch of gear we need to take to Cedar tomorrow, Friday, we're setting up. Did that for like an hour and a half, then loaded all his stuff into the cargo van, loaded all our lighting stuff into the cargo van. And we're like, all right, let's go to the school and caution tape off a parking spot for the scissor lift, because yeah, we're getting a scissor lift dropped off. And then came back to our house to put our trussing in the van, and we discovered it won't fit. So we had to take out all our lighting stuff anyway, and we could have just left it here the whole time, but we didn't.
Also, you should just say the real reason we took it out.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. Well, that is part of the reason we took it out, because there wasn't any room. But another reason we took it out is because it's supposed to go down to negative 15-degree wind chill tonight. We don't want to leave our electronics out in the cold that much, especially speakers. Don't leave your speakers out in the cold. Everyone does it. Everyone. But don't. It's bad. It's bad for the speakers. It's not as bad for lighting, but it's just not good for electronics. Just don't do it. If you can avoid doing it, avoid it.
So yeah, you can talk about part 2 will be coming.
This is gonna be all part 1. This is part 1.
Yeah, that's literally gonna be it. It's gonna be like a 6 to 8 minute long video.
Wow. Okay. This sucks. All right. Well, part 2 will be a lot better, and that's gonna be next week. So you don't have to wait 2 weeks to see a good gig log. Well, the last gig log we uploaded was pretty good. So
it was okay.
It was okay. Anyway, next week will be set up, which should be super interesting, I'm sure. And then the following week will be the gig, and I know everyone will be excited to see the gig. But yeah, there you go. Okay, so I just said we'd be uploading it every single week. That was the original plan, and kind of still is. The thing is, these things take a long time to edit. And when we recorded this, we had no idea we were actually going to end up with like the amount of footage that we did. So there's a lot to go through. It's a lot to edit. It's a lot to do. It takes a long time. So the situation is, if Alex happens to somehow be able to edit fast enough which would be decently surprising. It's a lot of footage, but if he is, we'll upload it next Monday. If not, then we'll just go on the standard upload schedule. But we're gonna try to do it in weekly fashion, not bi-weekly. We'll probably keep you updated on this, like on social media and stuff. You can go check us out there. You'll be posted on the informations in terms of uploading, but that's what we're looking at in terms of the upload schedule. See you in a week or two.